I thought I'd upload a video just demonstrating how to cut tiles, some of the tools that are available, and some of the methods that I use. They're really self-explanatory just watching the video. So anyway, I have several saws. I actually have 4 wet saws, and you're going to see 3 of them. No, actually I have 5 wet saws, and you're going to see 3 of them in this video. They range in price range and quality, and depending on the job that I'm on and the circumstances of the job, I will either use one wet saw or another. Sometimes I need a wet saw that's light and easy to carry. Other times I can use my big DeWalt wet saw, which I prefer most of the time, but each one will get the job done. So anyway, different methods that I use for cutting a tile. And this, what you see here, is just an old tile cutter, which was used extensively years ago for cutting 4 1/4 tile, but it's still good for small tiles, and as you can see, it does a pretty good job of scoring tile, glass tile, and you just snap. It's basically just these tile cutters like this. Pretty much even this one here that you see here, they're all on the same principle. It's got a carbide wheel or a diamond wheel. You score the tile, and then you snap it. Some tiles can be cut like this, others can't, and sometimes tiles of the same, coming out of the same box, are harder to cut than other tiles. As you saw on the previous wood look plank tile that I just cut, I just scored it and it snapped, and this one here just refuses to snap on the cutter. So sometimes you can get around that by just banging it over your knee, and it'll split right down the line where you scored it. And other times you need to cut. You can use, many times, instead of just using a wet saw, and you don't need really a precise cut. It's going to be buried or whatever. You can just score it like I'm going to do here, and just just pull off that little piece with the tile nippers. So there's a variety of different ways you can cut tile, and depending on the tile, kind of tile it's either going to cut easier or harder. Some tiles you can't cut with a cutter, and you have to use a wet saw. Most granite tiles, marble tiles, natural stones, slate, etc., you're going to have to cut with a wet saw. Most of the ceramic tiles and porcelain tiles, you can just usually, for straight cuts, you can score them and snap them. But anyway, that's for straight cuts. But curved cuts or L cuts or anything like that, you usually have to use a wet saw, or a combination of a wet saw, a tile cutter, and nippers. So and here, all these are just clips of videos that I've uploaded, just showing different parts of a tile job that I was doing, and I just took those clips and uploaded them together, just so you can see a variety of different ways of cutting tile. And the thing about a wet saw is it's not like a table saw. It's got a continuous rim blade, and doesn't have any teeth, and it's cooled by water. So it's not as dangerous as a table saw that cuts wood, because there's no teeth on it. And you still want to be very, very careful when using power tools, but a wet saw isn't anywhere as dangerous as a table saw. But still, you want to be careful when using it. Here in this video here, I'm just cutting a piece of travertine tile, and like I said, most stones and materials like this, you have to use a wet saw to cut it. back up a little bit.
Just an old cutter I have.
Most ceramic tiles and porcelain tiles, when you're doing straight cuts, most of the time you can just score it and then snap it, and it'll break right down the line that you just scored. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, even for porcelain and ceramic, depending on the glaze that's on it and the circumstances of it, sometimes you just can't, it just won't snap down the line, so you have to cut everything on the wet saw. You know, you just got to be patient with the tile that you're installing. You have to just try a few cuts and see what works best, and then once you found what will work for that particular tile, then you just go with it. And like I said, sometimes, like I'm showing you here, you use a combination of tools to make the cut. Now this little cut here, I scored the bottom line, and then I'm going to cut parts of it with the wet saw. This is another cheap little wet saw that I have for little, you know, soft soft glazed tiles, like subway tile or stuff like that. And so, you know, you just, like I said, I scored it, and now I'm going to cut the lines, and then I'm going to use my nippers to finish off the cut. So, you know, you just got to find what works best, and then go ahead with it.